Chat, can I just say, man, video games, man, they're great. I know that here, I think like Marathon, the news, the thoughts on Edge of Fate right now, but video games are great. Just across the board. I know we look back as like the 2000s or certain time frames were the best time in gaming, but I truly believe now we are in the best time. How much did EA pay you to say that? Video games are so great that BioWare and EA are shutting Anthem down. Anthem, a game that has gone down as one of BioWare's biggest misses, is shutting down online services after years with no significant content updates. No refunds will be issued, and the game will be unplayable permanently. Though BioWare was once known as one of gaming's greatest development studios, they've had a rough patch over the past decade, between Anthem missing the mark, Mass Effect Andromeda having mixed reception at best, and Dragon Age The Veilguard falling short of expectations. BioWare's been put in a rough spot. That's an understatement, huh? And despite their at one point being ambitious to create an Anthem 2.0, that project was canned in February 2021, and EA decided to move BioWare's resources on to bigger and better things. The game has been dead in the water since. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, I thought it was so dead that, to be honest, guys, I thought the servers were in fact off. That's right, like the news, when this news broke that Anthem was getting shut down, I just thought it was already shut down. As a result, the looter shooter title has been in maintenance mode for years, and the time has finally come for servers to be shuttered. With no offline mode, that means Anthem will be gone forever. Anthem will become permanently unplayable in January 2026. News of Anthem shutdown comes right as a conversation about the Stop Killing Games movement has mounted, with initiatives hitting 1 million signatures in Europe and possibly prompting legislature against the practice of closing down games permanently. Dude, I haven't even been keeping up with this. Hold up. There's a legislature against the practice of closing down games permanently? So what about games like The Day Before? What about Concord? So like Concord in this situation would have stayed online? In the FAQ on EA's announcements, they said the following about why the game wouldn't be playable. Anthem was designed to be an online-only title. So once the servers go offline, the game will no longer be playable. So regardless of how many hours you put into the game or how much you purchase it for, the product you bought will be rendered useless on January 12th, 2026. And there are people with hundreds of hours in the game. Maybe even thousands. Perhaps even thousands. And while premium currency is no longer purchasable, items bought with this currency aren't given to players for free either. They're just permanently inaccessible. With Stop Killing Games picking up traction, it should come as no surprise that EA is aiming to take the game offline before possible legislature requiring them to make the game available in some capacity, whether that be an overhaul to make it function offline or giving the source code to the community that could somehow preserve it. I mean, dude, just do this. I'm telling you, man, somebody can make Anthem a hell of a game. When you talk about what games don't have, there have been looter shooters in the past that I have played that just didn't have that core factor, that thing that made it special, and that thing that made you say, hey, I want to come back and play it. There's so many games that just can't nail the it factor. Anthem had that. And in my opinion, even harder than even in-game, nailing that it is the most difficult thing. Because that's just a subjective thing. That's just does this feel good to play? Does these builds feel good to use? Do I have an identity with whatever it is I'm using in the game? Does my class stand out to the next class? I wish someone could take Anthem and do like a proper Anthem Reloaded and actually give us the looter shooter that Anthem was supposed to be. Right here in this last line, in the event that the game's industry changes its practices, there's a future where what Anthem's pulling is possible. For now, though, Anthem is on the chopping block with no plans to keep the game alive in any capacity. Dude, what even is the numbers right now? If I was to look up, again, I'm just so surprised that Anthem was even still going. 30,000 players playing Anthem? Get out of here. Dude, get out of here. Anthem isn't on Steam. Look, if you go to Anthem right now in the directory, you've got some people streaming it, man. You've got some people playing it. So they're there. I think Anthem, look, as painful as like we've experienced with certain game shutdowns, or even like just missed out on like the whole what if scenario with things like, for instance, like Destiny 3 or whatever. Anthem it really is painful to see because there was love put into this game. It just wasn't, it wasn't that double down moment. If you look at Destiny should have failed. Destiny 1 should have failed. Destiny 2 definitely should have failed. But it was the Taken King experience, the year expansion after it had launched, and also the Forsaken expansion after a Destiny 2 vanilla launch. Those were the two expansions that saved both of those games. And it would essentially what it was the developers saying, hey, we're doubling down. We're going to give you what you want. We're going to listen to community feedback, and we're going to give you an explosion of content. We never really got that in Anthem. And look, you guys, I know there's going to be people that defend BioWare and say it was an EA decision. All right. You know, whether it was EA or BioWare, the point is, it's just a shame. It's a shame that Anthem didn't get that 2.0 version, that reloaded version, or just that follow-up annual expansion version that really made it pop. And at this point, I don't even know if anyone could even come in and like pick up the rights to Anthem, or if EA would even part ways with something like that. I do know, like, amongst people that play looter shooters, if Anthem was to announce something down the road, people would give it a go. My team would give it a go. Glazing? I'm not glazing, dude. Look, you could fly in that game. You could fly, dude. Everything, it felt good. The gameplay was good. You're flying, you're diving, you hit the ground, you feel the mech running, dude. Like everything felt so good. The gameplay was on point. The weapons could have been a little more potent. The prime system could have been a little bit more intuitive. Like they could have added definitely more to it, to its prime detonator system, which seemed to be what every build revolved around. But mechanically, I felt like everything felt really, really good. And again, that's one of the hardest things for any game to nail. It's just, hey, by default, does this game feel good to play? Personally, just so that I can embed it in my mind, the final 2 weeks or week of its existence, which will be in January of 2026, we're going to play through an entirely new character with the story, although the story wasn't that crazy. We'll just play through an entire new character and try to be the last player online, I suppose. I don't know if I've ever been part of a game that's been shut down or actively been in a game that was getting shut down. You know, it's going to be a moment there where we're all just kind of like sitting there in the servers, just like waiting for the lights to get turned off. I'm down. Count me in. Anthem was just hollow. A lot of potential, though, without a doubt. We should all play, everyone in chat. Wouldn't that be so bizarre, though? Like BioWare and EA look up and they're like, why is there a couple thousand players playing our game right now? You know what I mean? Never played it before, but I'm down to try. I just want to play it one more time to emphasize to you guys just how good of a game Anthem actually was. Like, at its core, it's a good game. And the only reason why this game failed is not because it's not a good game. It was just simply because there was no reinvestment, and there was no end game, of course, but there was no reinvestment into it. And so we'll have that experience leading up to its shutdown. Imagine that's all they needed for them to restart or work on 2.0 just for a bunch of people playing. Look, here's the thing. Anthem had a dedicated player base. They had people still actively playing. You had content creators still covering Anthem, and they were waiting for that big Taken King Forsaken turn for Anthem, but it never came, man. It never came. And look, whether EA's to blame more or BioWare, it's at this point, it's just whatever. It's just whatever. It's just a shame. Dude, y'all remember the reveal trailer? Hold on. Brother, dude, we thought this game was about to kill. And everyone always talked about the curse of calling games the Destiny killer. But dude, this trailer right here, oh my God.
The gods vanished and left our world in chaos, creating, altering, destroying. The Anthem is all that remains.
There's a storm coming. These walls can't protect us forever.
This definitely made the campaign look way cooler. I remember how open world the game felt, though.
Something is out there. It wants to destroy us all.
You can go in the water, too. Bunch of different classes at the port right there, man. Was that the interceptor? Dude, I was more referring to Anthem, hold on, E3 trailer.
Hi, I'm John Warner, game director for Anthem.
Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this at E3?
Hey!
freelancer.
Fraxley,
Listen, there's trouble. Big trouble.
what did you do?
I made a mistake. I hired some people. They weren't freelancers. I know. They said they could handle it, and the price was right. I thought maybe...
Unbelievable.
You're right. It was stupid. I'm sorry. But they're still out there. Somewhere. If you could just bring them back. Anything you need.
Dude, the way it looked like you picked up that quest,
In the world
dude.
of Anthem, you and your friends are freelancers, the heroes who leave the safety of the walls of Fort Tarsus to explore the unknown and protect humanity. Let's join 2 players as they head out on an expedition.
Hey,
These
Paul,
comms.
you ready to go?
I'm just grabbing some supplies, just about ready.
What are you going to use today?
I decided to go with the Colossus.
I'm going to use my Ranger. Try out some new upgrades.
Y'all remember all the load screens though? There were so many load screens.
Every player will own an array of exosuits we call javelins. These suits give players superhuman capabilities and are heavily customizable so they look and play how you
It was a
want.
sexy game though.
Bam. Looking good. Nice. You've got a mortar equipped.
Yeah, I got it on the weekend. You lead the way, I'll follow.
Dude, I love the flying in this game, man.
This is a vast
Such
open
real
world to explore
conversations.
with your friends. Each Javelin exosuit has its own unique playstyle. The Ranger is balanced and all-purpose, while the Colossus is a tanking powerhouse.
All right. Let's see what's up here.
How did this game
World of
tank and
Anthem
look
is
so
hostile,
good?
and threats can come from any direction. It's a dynamic world where the unexpected.
You gotta have in-game, man. If you're planning on making a live service game or like an MMO looter shooter, you gotta have in-game. And this one just didn't.
Yeah, he seems like a problem for another day.
Where's
Some
that
fire
number?
from up ahead.
I'll go low. You flank.
You gotta understand though, when we saw this for the first time, we were losing it, fellas. I remember I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's the Destiny Killer.
Hang in there. Almost there. Have you been in there yet?
I
Movement
haven't.
was on point.
We should do that later with Kim.
Yeah, he could use the XP. Hello, treasure. I think we got some action up ahead.
I love that. You get the sprint in there as
We're under
well.
attack. Anyone in the area, we're under attack.
I think that's part of Praxley's mission.
You can equip your Javelin exosuit with gear that brings devastating power to combat.
Dude, they could have made like world tiers, even took like a Diablo approach. I would have ate that up for this game.
Oh, there are a lot of scars down there. Oh, the scars have a heavy.
I have time to use that mortar. Yeah, give me some covering fire. There's a bunch more coming in.
Borderlands 4 approach
I'll
for
get this
Anthem,
round.
yeah. Look at that, look at that, look at that.
Thanks.
Oh, come on. Be something good. Oh, yes! Jar's Wrath.
Oh, nice.
That Dopamine high, man.
Large-scale world events like Shaper Storms are dynamic and pull you off the beaten path.
Let me just say this. The UI in this looks way better than what it actually did. I'm not saying that in-game was terrible, but this looks beyond clean. The UI in Anthem wasn't, again, necessarily awful, but they made it look stupid clean for this.
With the promise of new stories to discover.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pre-rendered.
Storm incoming. Okay, actually, let's get some more people. Hold on a sec.
But here's the thing, and then they get into, so you see the dynamic weather, like that was like really big for this. It was like big storms could open up in the world.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's happening?
I'm right behind you. Whoa.
I'm getting sadder by the
The
minutes.
storm is getting crazy.
Fellas, don't be sad. Just be happy we got to experience it, right? Just be happy that at one time we thought this was going to be the greatest game ever. Sure, it let us down and it ended up not being that at all. And it was completely mid and it flopped in every single way, ultimately getting shut down now. But at one time, we were so hyped about this. You know what I mean? It was good memories. Well, yep, didn't work out that way. We actually had a bunch of loading screens and no in-game. Build diversity was pretty slim and no reinvestment back in the game. Man, they definitely pitched it to us good right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this right here, they pitched it good, real good. Yeah, technical errors, crashes, all that jazz. Yeah. Either way it goes, to my people that were still playing Anthem, I would hope that everyone had like mentally moved on from it. But for my folks out there that were, I feel like there was probably a few that was probably still playing it thinking, don't worry, BioWare, they're not going to let us down. They're going to still give us something. They're going to cook it. They're going to give us Anthem Reloaded, Anthem 2.0. Those are the folks I feel really bad for. I hate it for them, man. I really do. I hate it for them. And who knows, maybe this is just a game that we talk about to our great-great-grandkids one day about the game that could have been, that should have been. Who knows?
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.